Om Namo Narayani. Good morning, good evening, wherever we are all joining in from. Today we are moving on to our 46th week of our class on Sri Lalitha Sahasranamam. We'll be looking at her names 314 to 320. Let us begin with our prayers. Jnana-rūpāya vidmahi Shakti amsaya dhimahi Tanno Shakti amma prachodayat. Om Jnana-rūpāya vidmahi Shakti amsaya dhimahi Tanno Shakti amma prachodayat. Om Jnana-rūpāya vidmahi Shakti amsaya dhimahi Tanno Shakti amma prachodayat. Om Sarva-mangala-mangalye Shive Sarvartha-sadhike Sharanye Trayambake Gauri Narayani Namostute. Om Sarva-mangala-mangalye Shive Sarvartha-sadhike Sharanye Trayambake Gauri Narayani Namostute. Om Sarva-mangala-mangalye Shive Sarvartha-sadhike Sharanye Trayambake Gauri Narayani Namostute. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvi Namaditamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Dhyanam Sindhuraruna Vigraham Trinayanam Manikya Maulispuratharanayaka Sekharam Smitamukhī Mapena Vakshoruham Panibhyāmalipurnaratnachashakam Raktotpalam Bibhratīm Saumyam Ratnaghatastharaktacharanam Dhyayet Paramambikam Dhyayet Padmasanastham Vikasita Vadanam Padmapatra Yatakshim Hemabam Pitavastram Karakalitalasatt Hema Padmam Varangim Sarvalankara Yuktam Satatam Abhayatam Bhaktanam Ram Bhavanim Shri Vidyam Santamurtim Sakala Suranutam सर्वसम्पत्प्रदात्रीं सकुङ्कुमविलेपनामलिकचुम्बिकस्तूरिकां समन्दहसिते सचरचापपाश्चाङ्कुशाम् अशेषजनमोहिनीं मरुणमाल्यभूषोज्ज्वलां जपाकुसुमभासुरां जपविधौ स्मरेदम्बिकाम् अरुणां करुणातरङ्गिताक्षीं धृतपाशाङ्कुशपुष्पबाणचापाम् अणिमादिभिरावृतां मयूखैरहमित्येव विभावये महेशीम्। ॐ ऐं ह्रीं श्रीं ॐ नमो नारायणे ॐ श्रीं श्रीमात्रे नमः स्वाहा। ॐ नमो नारायणे. Continuing to elaborate on Sri Mata, all the totality of the creation and each one name and each one's speciality, what we understand with our logical mind, but there's so many more layers and depths to each name. Her 314th name, Om Śreem rākēndu-vadanāyai namah swaha. Om Śreem rākēndu-vadanāyai namah swaha. Namah swaha. Om Śreem rākēndu-vadanāyai namah swaha. Namah swaha. Om Śreem rākēndu-vadanāyai namah swaha. Om Śreem rākēndu-vadanāyai namah swaha. Om Śreem. Salutations to Sri Lalitha, whose face is like the full moon, Paurnami, the full moon without any blemishes, no waxing, no waning, no lacking. It's just the full glory of the full moon. Indu is the full moon, and Indu is Chandra, we know, is a name for moon. There are many names for moon. Indu, one of the names that people name their child is Indumati. And the mind and the moon always go together. Mati is the mind like the moon. Indumati. Here, rākēndu, the full moon with no blemishes in its full glory. And here, there is a deeper meaning that is explained. We are going into another name of hers called Kāmakala. So when we look at the Sri Chakra, there is the Bindu, the dot, the triangles. We saw that is the mind map of the whole of the creation. We're going into the subtle form of the dot that is forming the Bindu. And we saw when we were looking at Śreem, Om Śreem. Śreem Matyai, Śreem, not just the Matyai, the Śreem, the mantra itself, Śreem, the essence that goes into that. And in the name, it concludes the formation of the Kamakala, the bindu, the dot that is forming. These are the subtler mantras embedded in each of these names. And the previous names and this together completes the formation of the Kamakala, which we will be seeing very shortly the next week. So the formation, the essence at the beginning of creation, and explanation from the Sri Chakra aspect of explaining the whole of creation. Her 315th name, Om Shri Rati rūpāyai namah swaha. Om Shri Rati rūpāyai namah swaha. Namah swaha. Om Shri Rati rūpāyai namah swaha. Namah swaha. Om Shri Rati rūpāyai namah swaha. Om Shri Rati rūpāyai namah swaha. Om Śreem. Salutations to Sri Lalitha, who is extremely beautiful. We have seen in other names her beauty is brought about so often, and Rati is beauty. And we've seen Kāmadevā, Manmatha, earlier names again, it has come in Manmatha's reference. His wife, he's also called Kāmadevā, the Cupid, the English equivalent is Cupid. So the one who, that desire and that passion, lust is one aspect, but the desire, the starting point of creation, and when it comes, that desire. And his wife, Kāmadeva's wife, is Rati. And Rati is like, if there is a Miss Universe, she'll be Miss Universe. And if Lalita is even above her, then she is even more beautiful than Rati. She is the cosmic mother, the totality from whom even Rati, Kāmadevā, everyone is manifested from her. So she's a supreme beauty. And Rati was given her name, Kāmadeva's wife, because she is so beautiful. In any comparison in the scriptures, in the stories, when they say equivalent of the celestial nymphs and the beauties, and they refer to several names who are like the utmost in their beauty. And Rati's beauty is like so proclaimed. And it's more than she has the form of Rati, she is the source from which Rati's beauty has originated as well. And Rati got her name because of that extreme beauty, exquisite beauty of hers. And the cosmic mother, she is the source, and she is the source for Kāmadeva's wife's beauty. She's the source of, she's the essence of all the beauty. She is the beauty. So she is Rati, Rūpa. Rūpa is form, we have seen. She's of the very beautiful form. So again, this name has the mantras incorporated in it to complete the formation of the Kamakala. The others were like forming. We will see again. We saw earlier in the Śreem, Ha, Ra, Im. Ha, the Shiva's beej, and Im is the Shakti beej, Ra is the conjoining of that Śreem. Here the Im is getting formed. That dot gives it the Im, and that dot formation is completed in this. So these are the hidden layers of the mantra that are in these names, which we don't understand, but as we chant, it is already incorporated in the pronunciation as we do it. In fact, it is said that when these chants are pronounced and chanted fully, if that sound is extrapolated into, they have machine that can draw these sounds onto the paper. Like so many new things are happening. This has happened more than 1-2 decades ago. I don't know exactly when. But when they graphically bring the sound into the print form, when the full chant is done, it forms the exact form of the deity. The face, the arms, things, what she holds in her hand, every details of that, like the pixels, the dots are formed exactly when these chants are done, and these pixels add up together to give that exact graphic form, the rupam on the paper that is printed in that 2-dimensional. So the sound is coming into the visual form when the chants are pronounced right. So even if we don't know it, understand it, the mantra is so powerful, it manifests. Amma says the beej is the seed from which the whole tree, everything manifests. So these mantras are so subtle, we don't see it, but we experience it, and it manifests the whole things. And these forms of her is ingrained in all these mantras as we chant. For 318th name, Om Śreem rākṣasa namah swaha. Om Śreem rakṣasa namah swaha. Om Śreem rakṣasa. It's Rakshasa, Agni. So Rakshasa, we know demon, Agni is the fire. When the word is combining, the two words combined becomes Rakṣasa, namah swaha. Om Śreem rakṣasa namah swaha. Om Śreem rakṣasa namah swaha. Om Śreem rakṣasa namah swaha. Om Śreem. Salutations to Sri Lalitha, who's the slayer of rakṣasās, the demons. Here the slaying is the fire burning, and who are rakṣasās? Demons. And demon is anything demonic. Demon is anything that has transgressed the path of dharma. And what is dharma? That which connects us to the divine within us, within each other, within the whole of the creation is dharma. Whenever we move away from that center, whenever we move away from other centers, we don't connect with that core. We don't connect with that totality, that core, the essence of the divine in the whole of the creation. When we move away from it, then we are moving away from that wisdom of spirituality. And when we move away, then what happens invariably, our senses and other things take over, and it takes us further away from the dharma, and it pulls us towards adharmic dharma. The negation is adharmic, the wrong ways of doing things. And when you keep doing wrong things in grand manner, in large scale, it becomes so demonic that it harms not just the person, it harms so many other beings across their worlds and other worlds. It is so that is rakṣasa. Rakṣasa is like that, all the negative energies. It's not like they are bad because they have the divine within themselves, but it's mislaid. And often when the ego takes over and it clouds the wisdom, and then the ego, the anger, the negative qualities of anger, Amma says, earlier, the negative qualities of greed, jealousy, anger, bad thoughts, all these are adharmic or negative qualities that can lead one into the demonic level. Because if humanity all originated from one source, they all came from the one source, but some continue in that source, some transgress because the ego has taken over, the connection with the core inside has weakened, and the distance, when it increases, there is tendency to keep doing wrong things. That is hurtful, harmful to oneself in the long run and for many others as well. So it is part of a creation, but when things go wrong, like entropy is like things fall apart, it happens, but then there is a system that brings it back to maintain the harmony. So when it is there, she is the one, like the fire destroys it, burns it. Rakṣasa, she is like the fire to the Rakshasa. She just burns and destroys these negativities. And it is said that in the Hindu Puranic, from the sages, like Manu is the first man, we see Brahma, from Brahma, Manu, all these descendants of each manifestation of the hierarchy of the humanity. When it's described this, even before the humanity, the devas, even the angels, when the creation happens, the sage Kashyapa Muni, the devas were born of him, and the rakṣasās, the daityas they refer to, they're also from the same father, but at the time of birth, when certain things happen, then the baby is prone to pick up the negative qualities. So the time of conception, the time of the pregnancy, all these impact. And in one of Amma's discourses, she was talking about during Deepavali, she's saying how this Narakasura became a demon. He was a rakṣasa who was harming so many, giving so much trouble and harm to people. People were in agony and crying. So, and who were his parents? His parents were Mahavishnu and Bhuma Devi, Mother Earth. And how can a child born to Mahavishnu and the child born to Mother Earth become a demon? At the time of that conception, if the mind is in anger or disturbed, then the baby that is conceived picks up those qualities, those vibrations affect that. So even though they were from the same parent, the angels, the devas, and the asuras, rakṣasās, they are from the same parental origin, but yet their nature differed because there are other energies that impact it. And yet, to maintain that harmony, she, which is, we will see in her later names, she protects, she comes to destroy the Rakshasas, the Asuras. And whole of Lalita, we saw she came to destroy Bandasura. And who's Bandasura? He was formed from the ashes of Kāmadevā, Manmata. So there is the good and the bad, and when the bad gets extreme, she comes to destroy that, to bring in the harmony and balance. So she is the sustenance person who has to maintain the goodness for the universe to function, to continue to function. Her 319th name, Om Śreem Rāmāyai namah swaha. 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 Om Śreem. Salutations to Sri Lalitha, who gives delight. We saw Ramya last class, and now we were talking about what is different between Ramya, Rama. Her name is also Rama. Rama literally means one who gives delight. So Lord Rama was given that name because all the yogis, all those who gathered around him, he brought the delight in everyone. They could feel the bliss in his presence, that delight that came. His name itself was Rama. Here she is Rama. She brings the delight. There is another name for Rama, another meaning. She is all that is feminine. All of womanhood is Rama. And Ra is the Bij mantra of Agni, the fire. So when we are looking at the chakras, the third chakra, the Manipura chakra, the solar plexus chakra, the Bij mantra for that is Ram, Ra, Ram. So Ra is the Agni Bij mantra, and the Ma goes in, and the movements. So again, mantras are incorporated in all these names. And the meaning that she is the embodiment of womanhood. The totality is Rama. We went on to 318 without looking at 16 and 17. Sorry about that. So after Om Śreem rākēndu-vadanāyai namah swaha, 315, Om Śreem Rati rūpāyai namah swaha, the page got interchanged. The next is Om Śreem Rati priyāyai namah swaha. We saw she is, we'll come back to the last name later. We'll go back to 316 for the continuity. Om Śreem Rati priyāyai namah swaha. Om Śreem Rati priyāyai namah swaha. Om Śreem Rati priyāyai namah swaha. Om Śreem Rati priyāyai namah swaha, namah swaha. Om Shri Rati priyāyai namah swaha. Om Śreem. Salutations to Sri Lalitha, who is very fond of beauty. Rati is beauty. Rati priyāyai, Priya is loving that. She loves beauty. And there is another interpretation. She is fond of Rati, Kāmadeva's wife, Rati. Can also be interpreted as Rati is very dear and very fond of, who loves Sri Lalitha, both ways. Rati priyāyai, she loves Rati, loves Rati. She loves Rati, Rati loves her. She loves beauty. Everything in creation is created by her, and when she sees the beauty of it, she just loves that creation, the beauty in that. She's able to see the beauty in everything. And wherever she sees that beauty, she is priyāyai, she just loves that so much. Priya is that love. And again, Priya by itself is a name often given. Rati is a name given. So all these good qualities are often used for naming children. So Rati Rupa, Rati Priya. Her 317th name. Om Shri rakṣā karyai namah swaha. Om Shri rakṣā karyai namah swaha. Om Shri rakṣā karyai namah swaha. Namah swaha. Om Shri rakṣā karyai namah swaha. Namah swaha. Om Shri rakṣā karyai namah swaha. Om Shri rakṣā karyai namah swaha. Om Shri. Salutations to Sri Lalitha, who is the protector. Karyai, one who does, we have seen this usage. Rakṣā, many of us are familiar with the word rakṣā. We would see it in Freedom. We have heard of it. And rakṣā is that which protects. Rakṣā is that object that protects. Rakṣā, again, is that protection. And rakṣā karyai is the one who is the protector. And we would see rakṣā as the thread in Paurnami Yagam. After that, we get the thread. We all have the thread from the rakṣā from the Paurnami Yagam. When we do the Sri Sukta Yagam, we get the yellow red thread. So in many yagams, pujas, when we go to Lakshmi Narayani temple, we are given as prasad the rakṣā in that. So rakṣā is that which protects. We wear that. There are many other rakṣās as well. You know, in the yagam, there is this long grass, the darbai grass, and at the end, the priest, whoever is doing it, they will show it in the fire. It starts burning, and then they put that burnt ash and mix it with ghee, and we apply that black paste. And that is rakṣā, that is protection. It has all the good auspicious things it has collected from the yagam, and we apply that. That is the protection, rakṣā, protection. And the burnt ashes, the thread, and then there are other rakshas. These sometimes the vibhuti or the kumkum from the pujas, we make the amulet, we can wear it in a locket or as a pendant, we use it, and that is rakṣā. Like those who did the Bhadrakali, we got the Bhadrakali Yagam rakṣā. So it is whatever amulet it has, the protection energy in that, and it is it destroys negativity and it brings in the positivity. This is protection we are using in this form. Amma sprinkles the tirtham, and she was talking about this protection in the full moon yagam we had recently. She was talking about rakṣā and how rakṣā is for protection, and it brings all the tirtham, the rakṣā we use, the lime we get, all these things they're all bringing the good energies and protecting us. It can destroy the negative energies which can allow other negative to come in. They clear that and bring in the good. So even in many other yagams, pujas, everywhere, at the end, what we get is the prasad from these pujas. They're all rakshas. They are like protecting us. Just being in the presence of that energy we imbibe from the mantras, all these are protections. We chant certain mantras and certain things, and the sound, all these are like rakṣās. They're like protecting us, and she is the protector. All the protection, all the actions of the protections all come under her reign. Of course, she's the creator, the sustainer, the destroyer. So she sustains. To sustain, she has to bring in the positive energies and she has to clear out the negative energies. So both are protection. And that is her essence. That's what the mother is there. And this rakṣā, sometimes you see that grass rolled into a long thread and like a rope. It is tied around the yaga kundam, that fire pit. And when you're doing kumbhabhishekam, other big yagams, pujas, it is like protecting the yaga kundam, the pit. And sometimes the chief priest, they will wear that by grass, certain forms of it. It gives that connectivity and the protection during the ritual and the puja. And Amma was talking about how this, what we're having tomorrow is the 75th Independence Day for India. And she was saying how so many people, each country has a speciality, and each country is special for something. And the speciality for India is spirituality. It is ingrained in this land. And she was talking about how many people fought, and there were so many freedom fighters to bring us that freedom. So each country goes through it. To have that freedom, people sacrifice their life, their time, effort to bring that freedom to that country, so the people have the freedom to do what is the speciality of that country. Like Amma saying, the freedom has come for, so you have the freedom to do the pujas, your rituals and the prayers, what is inherently natural for that country to do for India. So this is, again, that freedom has been got. It has been gotten with so much effort, and to maintain that freedom is an effort. So all this is protection. This is protection, rakṣā for the country, so its essence can be sustained, for its essence can grow. So, and that is the protection, rakṣā, that is being offered, and they have worked in that aspect to bring that freedom for all this to sustain. And when she does it, each one of us being her creation, each one who has contributed, contributes towards those aspects of creation. So these people have helped towards the protection and the sustenance of the country. And she said a lot of other things, but because we're talking about rakṣā, and she mentioned there was rakṣā in her discourse, the relevance of it. I'm sharing that, parts of that here. And also recently there was a festival again in India. It's very popular in North India and becoming more popular in South as well. It's called Raksha Bandhan. Rakṣā is again, we are talking about rakṣā, is again the protection. Here they mean rakṣā, the thread that protects. Raksha Bandhan is like it's like a relationship, an attachment, a bonding. And most popularly it's known as the sister is tying for the brother, so their bonding is strong. The love and the prayers of the sister protects the brothers, and the brother protects the sister, whatever her needs are, like that. So it is also done from the priest to the king, ties, or the wife to the husband, the mother to the son. So it is offering of that love and this rakṣā, the tying of the thread. The Rakhi is the thread, the rakṣā thread, and the bonding that happens with that out of love and nurturing each other in that love. So Raksha Bandhan again is to do with that protection. And Amma was talking about the tīrtham that she sprinkles, how that it's a protection that's much, much, much more refined, deeper. It's not just for the body, this protection, it goes deeper for the soul. The tīrtham is for the soul. And what kind of protection? It clears the negativities for the soul to be free, uplifted, to manifest, to clear the bondages, negativities, all that. So it is part of the sustenance and the protection to get all these blessings. Is such a so many wonderful ways the Divine Mother creates, and she sustains and gives all these opportunities, and she constantly destroys the negativities. She's like the next namah which we saw earlier, rākṣasa ghnyai. She destroys the negativities, negative tendencies, energies, the negativities for life to flourish, because everything about her is beauty, everything about her is the positive, the auspicious, sarva mangalam. So anything that keeps impeding, she clears. The good she creates, she sustains, and she destroys. This cycle is ongoing, it is interwoven, and it works, it coordinates and flows through everyone's, every being's, every form of life and the functioning of the universe. So 318th name we saw, Om Śreem Rakṣasa namah swaha. We will now look at her 319th name, which we saw also. Om Śreem Rāmāyai namah swaha. And today's last name, Om Śreem, 320th name. Om Śreem Ramana Lampatayai namah swaha. Om Śreem, Om Śreem Ramana Lampatayai namah swaha. Namah swaha. Om Śreem, Om Śreem Ramana Lampatayai namah swaha. Namah swaha. Om Śreem Ramana Lampatayai namah swaha. Om Śreem Ramana Lampatayai namah swaha. Om Śreem Salutations to Sri Lalitha, who plays playfully sports with her consort Shiva. So we saw Ramana, that playfulness, Lampatayai, that with devotion, there is so much devotion to her spouse, her husband, and she is very playful. It's like they're dancing, they're playful, the husband-wife relationship. She's the totality. You look at it, she is Shiva, she is in the manifested form, it is the potential kinetic. They are so playful with each other. The kinetic can move, the potential doesn't move, but together when they unite and form, it is that totality, that bliss, and in that form there is an interaction in that energy. When Shakti and Shiva sport together, they describe it like we saw in the previous name, rākēndu-vadanāyai, namah, swaha, that delight, the yogis delight in that, because when the Kundalini, her subtlest form, rises up in each life form, in that creation as it, and in the humanity, it's so rare, such a rare birth, because that culmination of the Kundalini rising to unite at the Shiva, at the Sahasrara, and then that overflow of that bliss, that nectar, the immortality, and that totality of that bliss, it is an experiential thing that yogis who come to that level of experience, each one becomes like the totality manifested within them. And they've experienced that form, it's such a delight. And she is in that state, so playful as she sports with, she's very playful and sportive, sportingly and dancing and playfully doing it. And here it is, you infer that she is with Shiva, the consort, and this is happening. So she also represents, we saw in the earlier name, Rama, she's that totality of that feminine womanhood. And she, when she is devoted to her husband, she's the collective form being of all women. She makes each woman devoted to her husband. So this relationship is like the crux of continuity of creation. For the life to continue, a new birth to form, and to grow, to sustain. So whatever she does, a household does in a miniature form. And she's doing it in the grandest form for the whole universe, for every life and every household, and from the human perspective, any animal perspective, any other life form perspective. This creation, procreation, that sustenance, that love of the relationship, the bonding of all the relationships, the bonding of the husband and the wife, the spouse, the love, the joy, the play, the interactions. It is very playful and joyful, and that whole thing is so blissful. It is her innate nature of how she runs her totality of the creation, the universe. So today, now we will chant all the 7 names in the right order. Om Śreem rākēndu-vadanāyai namah swaha. Om Śreem rākēndu-vadanāyai namah swaha. Om Śreem rākēndu-vadanāyai namah swaha. Om Śreem Rati rūpāyai namah swaha. Om Śreem Rati rūpāyai namah swaha. Om Śreem Rati rūpāyai namah swaha. Om Śreem Rati priyāyai namah swaha. Om Śreem Rati priyāyai namah swaha. Om Śreem Rati priyāyai namah swaha. Om Śreem rakṣā karyai namah swaha. Om Śreem rakṣā karyai namah swaha. Om Śreem rakṣā karyai namah swaha. Om Śreem rākṣasa namah swaha. Om Śreem rakṣasa namah swaha. Om Śreem rakṣasa namah swaha. Om Śreem rāmāyai namah swaha. Om Śreem rāmāyai namah swaha. Om Śreem rāmāyai namah swaha. Om Śreem ramana-lampatayai namah swaha. Om Śreem ramana-lampatayai namah swaha. Om Śreem ramana-lampatayai namah swaha. Om sarva-mangala-mangalye Shive sarvartha-sadhike Sharanye Trayambake Gauri Narayani Namostute Namah swaha. Om Namo Narayani Aye namah swaha. Om Namo Narayani. Let us offer our chants, our love, our devotion, our prayers to Sri Lalitha Narayani, seeking her blessings, her grace, her blessings for all of us, our loved ones, all of humanity, whole of all the sentient beings, all of Mother Earth, Mother Nature, all her beings, for all the worlds, all the beings, to be filled with her grace, love, to always be connected with the divine within us, she within us, to connect with her within each other, with all the beings, to connect with her in the whole of the creation, for peace, love, harmony, wisdom to reign in our hearts, in all the beings, in all the countries, in the whole world, all the worlds. Om Namo Narayana. Questions? Question: what is the meaning of Sri Lalitha, who playfully sports with her consort Shiva? Can you explain? Yes, so it is, there are, one is, you can look at it in the gross realm, in the subtle realm. It is the, you can look at it as the, like the chromosexual aspect of a husband and wife's interactions playfully and sportingly, you know, sportingly in the sense like very sportfully actually, playfully with joy and love, that that relationship, that intimacy of joy and play in that. It could be because we are not, she is beyond form and Shiva is beyond form. And here you're not even talking then in that realm of, in the physical realm, you're looking at it in the energetic realm. It is a blissful interactions of energies. So if we look at it at the human level, at the physical realm, it is like the physical interactions, contact between the husband and the wife. At the energetic realm, it is the energy of the creation and the creator and the kinetic and the potentials interaction in that. And if you're looking at it not even in the husband and wife form, within each one of us, there is the male and the female. So each one is complete in creation. Like earlier we have mentioned, talked about, each is a unit of the microcosm that represents the totality of the macrocosm. So within each one of us is the male and the female aspect. So if the male aspect is like in the Sahasrara, the Kundalini, the female is rising up to interact, and that union happens there. The ultimate union of the Shiva Shakti union happening within each one of us, which is what each yogi experiences. We saw in the name Om Śreem Rāmāyai namah swaha. The yogis feel that delight, that joy in that union. Within each one, the Shiva and the Shakti union happens. And in that state of bliss, the individual has transcended the limited form and has merged it with the Brahman, with that totality. And what that individual experiences now is the totality. The physical form seems like a finite form, but they have merged with the infinite. And many cannot even hold that experience and come back into the body. Many kind of, they move on, they shed the body and they move on. But it is sort of great compassion, many masters who have reached it. And here we have Shri Shakti Amma Narayani, the divine Narayani herself. Even though they are in that state of that Brahman, they out of compassion come back and retain this physical form to come and teach and give the wisdom for everyone to experience this possibility, which is possible in the human form. It is not given, Amma says many times, in many other forms. The other forms of births don't have this potential to reach that ultimate. They all have, they can go to a certain level. Their system is not equipped with that potential to reach the ultimate. Even the devas, the angels, if they want to evolve further to reach her to that center, when we see there are so many divinities serving her in the Sri Chakra there, even if they want to ascend from that level, which itself is so great, unimaginable for us, even if they want to progress to this level, they need to do so much practices to come to that level. And that is possible in this human birth, this possibility to evolve fast. This is like a fast track, which I mentioned, like what can take millions and billions of years to evolve here, you can do in few lifetimes. That potential is so tremendous. So they are waiting in line to get a human birth, those who understand this. And many of us don't understand, we just, we don't know what treasure we have. It's just unexplored and not even unencountered. It's not in that realm of agenda of human life for many, but those who know about it come so that they can experience this union right within in this birth, achieve the ultimate. So it can be explained in all these different forms. So she does that union of the Shiva Shakti union that happens very playfully, very sporting. It's joyful. It's like she is in that state of that union together with Shiva Shakti union. And any other question? Thank you. Om Namo Narayana. Yeah, so for the explanation today, we jump to names, but the chanting we continue. Remember that sequence of the names, and remember the sequences are embedded with so many mantras in it. We are not many we chant, it is all right. Even those who chant on a daily basis, it's like chanting the Bij mantras and they are doing their work. So as the mantras are doing their work, the whole being, the microcosm is getting into that form, and they start manifesting the qualities of Lalitha because they're imbibing those mantras on a daily basis, and it is so powerful. Om Namo Narayana. If there are no other questions, we can stop the recording.